Yes, people, welcome back to the Only YAHYAH. And today we're bringing you the Premier League's curtain closer of Arsenal versus Manchester United on the preview. Now, the preview is a show where we bring you Manchester United versus their next opponent. And we bring you predicted scores, lineups, maybe some detail from the press conference if it's early, in-depth analysis, just everything, rumors, whatever's going on, we're bringing it to you in the review. But before we do all that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications so I can keep bringing you great content going forward. So both teams in the league last season was 15th and 2nd. We know Arsenal 2nd, United 15th. Either side of the table. And for me, it's a new season, it's a new day, fresh anointing coming our way. My mom would be so happy hearing me say that. But yeah, you know, Manchester United and Arsenal are in a really good place in terms of how they went out in the transfer window. They both, I think, got their targets, which was really good. Also, I think this season they have two really young coaches, which is a plus for both of them. They also have coaches that are willing to stick with their system, good with young players. It's just an exciting thing for me to actually see this season. I know a lot of people might think that United might come 8 and 7, but I honestly believe with one game a week, with the quality of players United have, they're going to surprise the league this season. No, I'm not saying 21 is coming, but what I am saying is be aware this team's going to be dangerous. In the week 6 to 8, maybe in 10 weeks, after the first 10 games, Manchester United is going to be a force in the Premier League. Trust me. Okay, so going into all that, the transfer window was really good for both of these teams. Both teams went out and got all of their targets so far. I think both might bring in and strengthen maybe one more in the midfield area for both teams. And also, I feel like United might get a goalkeeper. But who knows? For sure, the Belabor rumor ain't a rumor anymore. That is definitely happening. I am not even going to say right now that I hope it happens. I'm saying that that is going to happen. There's too much going on behind that. Too much talk, too much journalists consistently talking about this. Belabor and his training and him being injured. There's just too many things going on. And we know how it works. But Brighton is just trying to make sure they stay respectful and they keep the ball in their court. As well as United is making sure that they play the game smart. Because they know at the end of the day, once they table a nice offer to Brighton before the window ends, Brighton already has replacements close by for them to go along with the league. Now, Belabor is a massive, massive miss for Brighton, yes. But he's a massive gain for United if they get him. But let's talk about the transfers that have been here. So we see SESKO. We see Gyokeres. We see Cunha, Mbeumo, Zubimendi, like so much quality. And for me, I haven't even called the player that I'm most excited to see. And that's Mosquera. You see that centre back that Arsenal bought? He is going to be the key to a lot of Arsenal's success this season. And also my player, Christian Norgard. Now, Norgard is a player that a lot of people think because he comes from Brentford, because of his age and all these things, he's not going to have an impact for Arsenal. But I think he is going to bring and help Arsenal create a dynamic that now allows them to see games out. You know those games when Arsenal were winning 2-0 and then they concede a goal and it's 2-1 and the game gets tight and it's, squeaky butthole time. A player like Norgard and Mosquera and these guys coming in now allows Arsenal to see these games out. Now you can play in the defense with a player like a Noni Madueke and hit teams on the counter. It's such a beautiful thing to see now. Do I think all these things I'm saying sounds beautiful, right? It sounds like it's all connecting right away, but it has to connect. It has to connect, and this is very important for Arteta, and this is why I think Arteta is also the manager that's under the most pressure this season because he has to win a major trophy. I don't think there's no other manager other than maybe Pep Guardiola that is being forced to win a major trophy this season as much as Arteta. Carabao Cup, FA Cup ain't gonna cut it for Arsenal fans. They want something big. Now the board, maybe not, because you know how Arsenal board is. Get Champions League football, especially they come in second all this time, like lovely, you know, Amazon Prime Video, Arteta talking like he's a Shakespeare, all this drama, it works for them. But at the end of the day, he has to make this work. He has to win a major trophy or even fight for these major trophies. Get to the final of the Champions League and maybe fight for the Premier League until the last day. Like, he has to really put in work this season. It's no longer about him just doing, just having a place in second. Now, another manager on the other end, Ruben Amorim, he's under some pressure as well. But I think his job is a lot safer than people think. A lot of people are saying Ruben Amorim might be one of the first managers to get sacked. But I actually believe Ruben Amorim might be in a position where even if he have a bad season this season, as long as he doesn't come 15th, 12th, or 10th, that kind of range, I think Ruben Amorim's job is safe. And even if he comes at that sort of like place in the league, right? There is no way the board just goes out and sacks him because Jimmy Ratcliffe, you know, I gotta call him Jimmy because right now he's rocking. Jimmy Ratcliffe said that he is definitely looking at the model that Arsenal took up in terms of, you know, going after and helping Arteta to build his team. And now they stayed with Arteta. They invested in Arteta. They're going to invest in Amorim. They're going to give him time to build his squad properly and see if he can actually win the league. The Project 2028 they're talking about is no joke. And talking about Project 2028 is why they also went for SESKO in the market over Ollie Watkins. Now, we see Ollie Watkins and even Gyokeres. I think United thought, yo, why would we pay 60 million for Gyokeres when we can get SESKO for 70 million and he can probably be here for the next 5 to 10 years? I don't think that Gyokeres has 5 to 10 years at Arsenal. I mean, his age. But also, I think Gyokeres will do 3-4 years at Arsenal. And then, if he does well, probably move to a team like Real Madrid. You know, probably move, or Arsenal might not even want Gyokeres for that time because of how quickly they shuffle their players as well. So then, let's talk about players like Mboma and SESKO. You know, quality players brought into Manchester United to help them create more chances, help them build a team around players that want to play for Manchester United. Now, forget all that. Let's talk about quality. SESKO, Bruno Fernandes, Cunha, and Mbeumo, these guys will create a lot of chances and score a lot of goals. Now you add players like a Mount and a Zertsky and these kind of guys into this sort of element. They will score goals as well. They will actually input and now be able to feed guys that want to score goals. You know, when you have a SESKO, okay, you know, you feed him more. But when you have a Zertsky, now you have those three guys being able to go and do their thing. Because now they have somebody that wants to link up more and will play them in more to score more goals. So there's so many different dynamics that United can create with the players that they bought. Now, the midfield area for me might be a bit of an issue. But then we're going to jump into that now as we talk about the predicted 11. Now, my predicted 11 really, is, you can say, for Arsenal, pretty much what everyone thinks will be the starting lineup. Now, they have options, a lot of options, but it's what I think Arteta is going to go and play based on how I know he is as a manager. Now, Arteta loves a solid foundation, especially when he goes away to any other top club. So this is why, for me, the back four of Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, and Lewis Kelly is definitely the base that he's going to use. Now, Lewis Kelly on the defensive side, maybe not so much as solid, but he's a good defender. He's not no player that you look at and you're like, oh, this kid doesn't know what's going on. He's a top player. And then you're looking at Gabriel and Saliba, who is basically the best defensive partnership in England at the moment. And Timber is a solid right back, and technically he's actually really sound. As simple as you see Julian Timber, he's really good on the ball, and he's real quick and real good in tight spaces. Now, the midfield area is the foundation that you have to speak about, which is very important for Arsenal going into this game. They have different dynamics they can bring into this game. They can even start a Rice, Norgard, and Odegaard. They can start a Rice, Odegaard, and Havertz. You know, they have certain dynamics they can play. But Rice is the one player that must play. Now, everyone's hyping up this game about a Rice, a Gyokeres, SESKO because of the obvious reason. But for me, the most important players on the pitch is Rice and Bruno Fernandes. Basically, for me, the two captains. Now, these guys, whoever wins that battle, wins. Whoever wins that battle wins their team the game for sure. That is a very important battle. I'm telling you, Bruno Fernandes and Declan Rice is a very important battle in this football game. Whoever wins it. Because the both of them are the link to what their team needs in every aspect of the game to be good. On the ball, they have to be good. Off the ball, they have to be good. They have to be the ones that are influencing this game on and off the ball. They have to keep it ticking. And that is why, for me, they're the most important players in the game. Because they are the number 8 in this game, and this game is going to be a game full of transition. Now, talking about base and midfield and transition, Lewis Kelly is definitely also going to come into the midfield and try to overload the midfield. He's definitely going to do that because Arteta is going to try to win that battle, and that's a key input for Lewis Kelly. That is a key reason why I think he will get the nod over Calafiori, because Calafiori is more up and down. I see him doing a lot of overlapping, a lot of helping the winger, but Lewis Kelly is going to come try overload the midfield, and maybe that allows Odegaard to be freed up a bit more. Now, Zubimendi is a quality player. Watching him in preseason, I was like, yeah, this guy's quality. Now, I don't know how well he's going to do with the first couple of games in the Premier League. Maybe he needs to have a settling period, and that's why I think the intensity has to be really high, especially going after this team. We know Saka and Martinelli, for sure. Arteta is going to go with his loyals, even if he's brought in a few other attacking players. I can't see him trying Madueke on the left side, but he's going to go with his inversion players because he wants them to feed off Gyokeres, especially having Gyokeres coming in still playing as a false 9. Now, Arteta will make Gyokeres play as a false 9. It's not like Arteta is going to sit down and try to change his way of playing too much. Gyokeres already likes to come to get the ball when he doesn't get it as much. He changes his runs a lot. So I would call him more of a balanced forward. He does a lot on and off the ball and makes runs coming to and away from the ball. So I understand why, and I understand him coming to the ball will not be a hard change for him. But I'm just saying they need to also utilize him a lot with his back to goal, a lot with him playing on the defenders, and use that dynamic for Arsenal a bit more, because I feel like sometimes the football is a bit too just pretty, you know. Just do the ugly stuff sometimes. And now you have a striker with the physicality and the willingness and the understanding to be a poacher and a good, just a gunman, you know. Just be smart and use him a bit more. Now enough about Arsenal, you know. Let's get to the real team. So here we are now with the squad who is developing into something great. Okay? Manchester United is definitely onto good things. Now, a few change-ups in the lineup here. You see, I have, as you can see, Onana in goal, which is a big topic because one, everyone think he's being sold, but two, he hasn't had a full preseason. But I think he'll play because I just think the manager trusts him more, even if he's half fit, than Altai. Euro, Maguire, Shaw, definitely on the back line because Euro's had a really good preseason. Really good, high level, been playing well, injury free, can cover the pitch. He covers up a lot of the Maguire fragilities a bit that Maguire has in terms of recovery. But then how Maguire builds up in this squad, how Maguire helps this team progress the ball, how Maguire cuts lines with his passes is why he starts in this team. And also, Maguire is really good marking a striker on a one-on-one, especially when his physicality and the striker wants to back up and a lot of teams want to play to feet. Maguire is key. So this battle with him and Gyokeres, Maguire might be at home right now, licking his fingers, can't wait to mark Gyokeres. Now, the big question here is Luke Shaw and Aiden Heaven, because Lisandro Martinez can't play. So this is the area where you're like, who do you start here? Now for me, Luke Shaw has to start, just one, because Aiden Heaven is young, 19. You see him make a lot of mistakes in the preseason, one or two mistakes, and I just feel that the intensity of this game and also the history in which he has with the players here and how much it means to him and how much he wants to win and just too much emotion I think will be built up, and I think Luke Shaw can handle all that a bit more with, and he has a lot more experience and he's looked good in preseason, you know, he's looked sharp, he's looked fit, he's been playing the ball. I think he should play the ball a bit quicker and cut the lines a bit faster, but Luke Shaw brings another dynamic and he's not a problem playing instead of Haven. Now, you might say, okay, we might lack a bit of physicality, but that's where the big boy, I think, has to start on top. But then now, before we get there, let's talk about the key area, which is the midfield. So, Manuel Ugarte, Casemiro, Kobe Menu has to play next to Bruno Fernandes. Either or at the moment. As you know, we are linked or being rumored with Baleba. But if that doesn't happen, which it can't happen for the weekend, I think it has to be a Ugarte Bruno midfield. Now, I thought about this a few times and I thought, you know, maybe they could do a Menu and Bruno, but Menu and Bruno in this game, especially if you have a Rice, Norgard, and a Odegaard, or Rice, or that midfield three that I said Arsenal will bring, you need somebody in there who's going to break up the play and rough up the play. Now, a 65 from Ugarte, then a 35 from Casemiro isn't a bad thing, you know, and you can bring Menu to see out the game in one of those 10 positions. Or maybe Manu just don't play against Arsenal. It's just that's how it works, you know. It's a squad sport. You know, Manu might be the man that needs to play against City, but not Arsenal, you know. But Ugarte is key to this because he is the man that needs to lock down most of the transitional play that Arsenal is going to have. I think he's the most mobile out of all the others to play next to Bruno Fernandes. Now on the ball, I see him trying a bit more to drive and take shots but you just keep doing what you do. Break up the play it quick. Break up the play it quick. Drive through the space, play the ball quickly. And I think once you realize that you can do that job every game at a high level and learn how to do it better and better and better, you will be a great player for Manchester United and you will be a weapon for Manchester United. Now on both of the wing-backs position, I have Ahmad and Dogu. Now Dogu speaks for himself. But Ahmad, you know, you have a way up between him and Dalot. Now Dalot, I would say if it was at the Emirates, Dalot gets the nod. But it's Old Trafford, first game of the season. We have a lot we need to show. Ahmad has to start to bring that attack. And also, a lot of the times when Manchester United look good in pre-season, you saw the ball coming, passing the midfield line, going into the striker, then being laid off onto the midfield who's running and facing the play. So you saw Maguire cut the lines a few times into Cunha, who laid it off to Bruno, into Mbeumo, into Ahmad. A few times that happened. That's even how he won the penalty in pre-season. And Cunha created a few chances from that same play. So watch out for that a lot. And now, instead of Ahmad trying to do a bit more and not having a striker, he can just clip it to the back post to SESKO, who I think is going to be one of the main players on the pitch. Not even scoring goals, but just holding up the ball, bringing another dynamic, allowing United to release pressure when Arsenal press them high, because Arsenal press real good when high. And when Arsenal are pressing you high, Arsenal press really good. The dynamic in which they press, Odegaard, Saka, they understand how to press that right side, on that right side really well. Martinelli is an engine. He works really hard. And that is also a key thing that is going to be a part of this game that you'll see. The wingers in this game, even the 10s in Mbeumo, Cunha, these guys work really hard. Saka, Martinelli work really hard. And it's going to be a joy to watch. So this has been my starting lineup for both teams. As you can see, I have both teams putting out their best 11s possible to go after this game and start the season well. Because I feel like both managers are under pressure. And I don't think that both managers have the time to start the season, especially this game, on a loss. I feel like it's very important that both managers go after this game as hard as they can, and both managers try to win this game, because at the end of the day, if both managers try to draw this game, they're going to put themselves under pressure. If either of them get slapped, they're going to put themselves under pressure. So it's a very volatile place to be in for both managers. But at the end of the day, that's football. Now, what is the result? For me, I've thought about this a few times, but based on what I'm feeling, it's Old Trafford. United usually bring the heat on the first day at Old Trafford. I think it's going to be a 3-1 United win. I think Saka to Gyokeres will see that combination a lot, and I feel like Arsenal will have a few good chances, but I think Gyokeres will score for sure. But Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes will get an assist and score one. Cunha will open his scoring for Manchester United, and so will Mbeumo. I think the three of them will score, and SESKO will get an assist and be real good in the build-up. But yes, it's been your preview, the first of many Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page, and keep hitting the bell for notification, and also keep commenting. I've been getting some comments from people and it's been fun. So keep doing your thing, keep encouraging and growing the community, and I'll keep bringing you great content going forward. It's been your boy Yaya telling you to have a great one with the preview Manchester United versus Arsenal. Come on, United!